Y'all wanted to hear about that blind date I had. Now, I'm gonna just describe this girl, just the way she looked, and that's when I said, "Well, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings," but I should be able to just describe her what she looked like when I get to her house. I want to tell you the truth of what happened and all. So anyway, me and Bruce Caton, y'all know Bruce Caton. Some of you Orchard Outlaws know him, and also some of our school friends on here know him. He went to school with us. Bruce married my first cousin, Tammy. Anyway, we was riding around one night. We pulled in there at the Colonel Dixie up on Airport Boulevard. And some of y'all know where that Colonel Dixie was. I think it closed down in the late 70s or maybe mid 80s or something. But anyway, so we pulled up in there one night and we was eating our hamburgers like a Friday night. And there's a payphone right by the table I was sitting in. The payphone rang, so I grabbed and said, hello. Some girl on there asking, was Joe there? Somebody asked for a name, and I wasn't nobody there but me and Bruce sitting there, so I knew. I said, no, he's not here unless he's somebody back in the back cooking. Or she said, no, he's supposed to be up there tonight. I was going to call him. I said, well, ain't nobody in here but us. So, me and her started talking, and she had a sweet little old voice now, but I want to just tell you men something. It ain't all about that voice. That voice can fool you, and I'm pretty sure many of people have been fooled by that sweet voice. So we talked there about 10 or 15, 20 minutes. She was telling me where she went to school and how old she was, and I was telling her about me, and I was out of high school, and I was probably a year or so after I got out of high school, and she gave me her phone number, told me to call her. I said, we'll plan a date or something. I said, well, that sounds good to me. So I went on home, and next few days, I think I called her a couple days later, and we talked for a couple hours. I said, look, I don't want to hurt your feelings or nothing. I said, I don't know how to ask you this. I said, how do I ask the girl this? I said, I don't want to hurt your feelings or nothing. I said, but, what do you look like? And that's hard that's a hard question to ask the girl because they gonna lie. She flat lied to me. She said, well, I ain't got no problem getting no dates. I can tell you that. She said, I've got a lot of offers to go out. And I said, really? She said, what do you look like? I said, well, I guess I can give her about the goodest answer she gave me. I said, well, I really don't have no problem getting no dates because at the time I thought I was a pretty good looking old fella. In my eyes, I was. Now, it probably wasn't in a lot of people's eyes, but I said, you know what? I don't have no trouble getting no dates either. I said, well, this is going to work out great. So I called her up on a Thursday night before that Friday. We was going to go out Friday night. We set our plans, set them up. She said, well, I got a girl coming from Biloxi, and we got to fix her up. So she's come to spend the weekend with me. She said, you got somebody you can fix her up with? I said, well, yeah. I said, Bruce will go out with that girl. I said, and Bruce would, because Bruce didn't have too many dates back then. And she said, well, come over here tomorrow night about 7 o'clock, and we'll get this date thing going. So I said, okay. So me and Bruce get all our Aquavelva on, and boy, we dressed to kill. So I had my disco outfit on because, it was the late 70s, and I had a Trans Am, and I had the Bee Gees playing all the way over there. And we were rocking. Me and Bruce was, boy. So she gave me the directions to her house, and when I drove up to the house and seen the neighborhood she was in, I kind of got nervous. It didn't look like too good of a neighborhood. It was over in Theodore. So I go up to the door, and I'm going to tell y'all something. The door was up, and it was some blocks I was standing on. The door was up high. So I had to reach up and knock that door up there kind of high. And I'm down here looking up the door. I heard something coming down the hall, coming through the house, and I noticed that house. I could hear dishes moving or something rattling in that house right there around the door we was at. And Bruce was standing behind me, and this girl opened that door, and I looked up, and all I could see was girl. The door, she blocked the light from inside the house out. It was just a big girl standing there, and I said, Lord, have mercy. I said, that's got to be that girl's mama. I said, Lord, don't let that be my date, please. Bruce, he just standing back there. Bruce, nothing bother Bruce. He just standing back with a big old smile on his face. Come on in, she said. I said, all right. I'm thinking, where's your daughter at? I hope to God she don't look like you. So we got up in that house, And we walked around this, we come through the kitchen, walked around this hallway, and there's a living room right there. And I'm going to tell y'all something. There was a blonde-headed girl sitting on that couch. It was a 10. I'm talking about a solid 10 if you was numbering them. She was good. I said, there you go. There you go. And it was only the big mama and this girl here. And I said, I feel sorry for Bruce. I just felt sorry for him. I said, oh, Lord, Bruce is going to be mad at me. Well, what bothered me most of all was when that big girl done put her arm through my arms and she said, where are you taking us tonight? And I almost pushed her over on Bruce and said, your woman won't ask you where we going tonight. But that didn't the way it happened. The other one got up and introduced herself to Bruce, and that was his date. And Bruce was, man, he was so excited. The boy's eyes was that big around. I looked over her and I looked at this one. I said, what in the world have I done got myself into? I said, this probably ain't going to last long now. I said, this ain't going to be no long date. But, I kind of felt sorry for Bruce. I said, I don't want to end his date. I said, what are we going to do? So they had some touching up to do before they left and went to the back. And I guess they was out there talking about each other, who they were going with. You know how girls are. Which one? How you like him? Yeah. Well, the minute they got out of sight, I looked at Bruce. I said, don't make this no long date tonight. I said, son, we're going to, matter of fact, we drinking to a drive-in movie. I don't even know what was playing. It might have been Godzilla Attacks Japan or something, but I don't forgot what the movie was. So he didn't care. He said, I don't care where you take me, man. He said, let's just go. I said, I guess you do want to go. So we stand there waiting for them girls to come out. They come back out, and she done got her shawl on her neck. And then I swear it looked like she had a bedspread for a dress on. I don't know if you actually could find a dress unless you had it made for her. And this is where I didn't want to offend nobody. But I'm going to just tell it like it is. It looked like she combed her hair with motor oil. That's how her hair looked on her head. It was flat on the side of her head, stuck on her forehead, and I said, oh, Lord, have mercy. So I didn't tell you how big she was, but I gave you a description. Y'all just remember she's big girl. So we got in my Trans Am, it was a black Trans Am, that Bandit edition, and man, I thought I was so cool. Well, we got in that Trans Am. She took her seat, and half of her was up on my armrest. And Bruce jumped in the back with his girl, and they all back there sitting and talking, and it was so sweet. I thought, Bruce, I said, ain't that just sweet? So she said, where are we going to go tonight? And I said, oh, Lord, have mercy. I said, how about the drive-in movies? And she said, no, I don't really want. She said, let's go down there to Capri by the mall. She said, all my friends going to be there tonight. And I said, I can't go down that far. I said, no. I said, I'm not driving down that far. I'm sorry. Just ain't going to do it. And I'm thinking, where in the world can I get this girl to hide her? All I could think about was that Bama Drive-In over there. And that was actually further than the mall, where the mall was. So I whipped down that road to go over to Bama, went over in there and I swear I don't know what the movie was. So we got up in that drive-in. I should knock something over. We got up in that drive-in, and I parked kind of way back in the back where nobody's around us. And the movie was playing, and I said, what am I going to do? Well, it wasn't long before I heard kissing in the back. And I turned around, and that girl, Bruce and that girl was booger lipping, son. They was making out, and I said, oh, Lord, have mercy. Well, Big Mama right over here next to me, she started wanting some loving. I said, oh, Lord, have mercy. That's all I could say is, Lord, have mercy. So she started easing my way, and I kind of tried, I really couldn't go nowhere. I just eased over toward my door a little bit. I tried to keep her attention on the movie. And next thing I know, she's on top of my armrest, and I don't know how the armrest even stayed up. I don't know how it didn't fall through the bottom of the car. But she got on top of that armrest, and I'm looking up at her now because this girl also was tall. She come over toward me and started getting toward me, and next thing I know, she's kissing me right around my ear and on my face, and I'm going, oh, dear God. I said, Lord, I was pushing my head against that. Oh, I lost you. Anyway, I was pushing my head against that car window, and it was just as flat as a pancake. That girl just a kissing on me. And I said, oh, my gosh. I said, hang on a minute. I said, we got to go get some popcorn and something to drink. I got Bertha off of me. I said, Bruce, come on. Oh, Bruce didn't want to go. He said, no. I said, Bruce, come on, man. I said, you got to help me get this popcorn. Get out the back seat of this car. So he reluctantly got out the back seat of the car. and went with me to the concession stand. And I told him, I said, let me tell you something, Bruce. I said, I ain't never thought about killing a man. I said, but I'm going to flat shoot you or kill. I said, you're gone. If I get back to that car and you start making out with that girl in that back seat again, I said, me and you are enemies. It's over. I said, if I can get to a gun, I'm going to shoot you. I said, cause all you doing is getting Big Mama active up here in this front seat. And I said, that ain't happening. I said, just get back in that seat and watch that movie with this girl. And I said, you can get her phone number and y'all can go out later. I said, but we got to get this date over with. I said, I got to get big girl home. So we watched the movie. We got back there and brought popcorn. Old big girl took a couple of hits on it, and she had that bag was dry and sucked that drink down like I ain't never seen nobody drink a big gulp that fast. Because she was ready to rock and roll. She didn't have time for no food. She wanted to get that out of the way. So we sat there a while, and Bruce was behaving himself. I guess after about 20 minutes, he just couldn't do it, you know. I don't know if I could, because that was a pretty girl. He starts kissing her again. And you could hear all that kissing going on in the back seat, and Big Mama come over there again. I said, Lord mercy. She come over that, and I had that shifter right there. I said, Lord, she's going to bend my shifter off my car. She come on over on me. She finally slid over on top of me. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I barely couldn't breathe. And I was just turning away from her, and this is honest what she said to me. She said, are you a queer? And you know, I come that close to, that's the first time I've ever told somebody I was gay. But I just couldn't do it. I said, no, I've been arrested in this movie. Look, he's destroying a bank building now. Godzilla was tearing something up. Finally, y'all, she got off of me. She was mad. So she soiled up over there. And you couldn't control Bruce back there. Now, all he was doing was kissing. I'm not trying to mislead anybody. It wasn't nothing else going on. But so we watched the movie, and I had to have gas. I had gas in my car. I had gas in my car, and I stopped over on 3 Notch Road, over at a little gas station, 7-Eleven. I don't even know where it was at, over at 3 Notch. And I said, somehow I got to keep this girl in my car, because I knew people in that area, and I really didn't want the reputation of that. So what I did was I said, I got to keep this girl contained in my car. I said, how am I going to do that? I was figuring out how I was going to pump gas, stay at the car at the same time. But you know, back then you didn't have handy checks and credit cards to get gas. You paid for gas with cash. And I was going to get $5 worth. That would have lasted me the rest of the weekend. So I said, I'm going to get some gas right here. And I said, y'all just sit right here. Well, I had a $5 bill in my hand. I had my hand right here in the edge of my pocket, and you can see that $5 bill. And I had that pump just, and this was before you used to just turn the pump on, get your gas, walk in and pay for it. And I felt that $5 bill fly out of my hand, and I looked at that big old girl, and she's dancing across that parking lot. And she's seen 7 or 8 people she knew. They was all running up there talking to her, and she showed, here's my date tonight. Look at this car and all this. I don't even think I finished putting $5 worth of gas in that car. I think I pumped about a gallon and a half, whatever that cost, and I cut it off and jumped back up in the car. She done handed her my $5 bill. She come out there wanting to mingle. I sat on the horn. I said, look, we got to go. Finally, I got her in that car, and she plopped over in there. And I believe I did a drive-by kick-out. I went by her house so fast and got her out of my car, I don't even think my car quit rolling. I don't know how Bruce got his girl out. He was reluctantly to do it. He didn't want to do it. But we got him out of there, and that's what happened on my first blind date. And that's the only blind date I've ever went on, and will not go on another. Well, I can't. I would have never went on another one. How about that? So y'all tell me what you think of these stories, because I'm going to tell you a bunch more. But that's the story of the blind date. I hope you enjoyed it.